All right, we are live here. I am here with Jay. This is his first, his first time on my channel. If you know me, you know who Jay is
Wow.
because we normally do a podcast. We're supposed to do a podcast every couple weeks, and we haven't done one in about 8 months. So,
Right.
Jay, you want to go ahead and explain why we are on my channel and not
Because
yours?
God hates me and you, and wants to make my life and yours vicariously as difficult as possible. He wants to poop in my mouth, a
Yeah.
hot, steamy one with corn in it.
Ooh.
I tried to go live, what did we do? Like 80 times or something like that, and it kept kicking. I would freeze up, right?
Let's see. Let me. I got my phone here. Let me see when you sent the first an actual link. So, the first. It is now, as of this recording, 10:31 p.m. Central Time, and
Mm-hmm.
you sent the very first. Oh God, we have a lot of angry texts in between each other. You sent me the very first text at, it looks like, around 9 o'clock. So it's been 90 minutes.
Yeah. So Eric, I gotta admit, was a great help, was offering some good advice and all that. And I'm like, okay, it's just my internet, whatever the fuck. But then I was thinking, with let me backtrack a little bit. All right. This is technically, whatever, my podcast or whatever, but I decided what I would do since I went to go check on Spotify because we were having so much trouble. Okay, again, I'm so fucking angry right now. It's not
Go
even
ahead.
funny.
Go
But
ahead.
a few days ago, a dumb bitch who works at T-Mobile and says her name is Brenda, but talks like this, and she's
Mm-hmm.
in California. No, Punjab. Don't do that bullshit with me right now, all right? I'm not in the fucking mood. So
Let me say
I had
right
gotten,
now that the opinions of Jay
oh
from
yeah,
JayvTV Uncut don't necessarily represent the opinions publicly of me.
I I I'll try to dial it back a little bit as far as language because I know your channel is a little different than mine. Mine is a little more, yeah, Satan-y and horrible.
Yeah,
But
go right ahead. I'm just saying that what you say doesn't necessarily, I get all the legal shit out of the way. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah,
Back to
yeah.
back to Brenda.
Brenda, Brenda,
Yeah.
Brenda, Brenda, Brenda from Fresno, California. She was very, very helpful to tell me when I called because my internet was acting funny. Every 5 seconds, I was updating all that. And I do love the fact that when I called her, she asked me if I tried turning my phone on and off. No, because I'm retarded.
Well,
I,
well, in her defense, I always tell people that too. I always say restart the computer, restart the phone.
if you've had a phone for the past 10 years, you know to do that. You know to do that. If you are a newborn and I just put a phone in your hand while you're covered in that mashed potatoes crap, then yeah, you can ask, you can wonder what's going on. But I'm like, okay, fine. She's being nice, whatever. She's like, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm having all those problems. There was a storm the other day. I don't know if that's the problem. Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, let me see what the problem is. And remember, I'm in Fresno, California, not India. I'm like, okay, whatever. So then she's like, oh, it seems that we have a ticket. And this ticket is open. I'm like, all right, see, now I'm going to need you to turn that into dum dum speak for me and tell
Yeah.
me what you mean. I know that that means you've got something on your computer saying something's wrong. What is it? When's it going to get fixed? She's like, well, apparently they're trying to upgrade to 5G and it is the nearest tower. And you've probably been very slow lately. Yes. Yes, I just told you. Don't pull that David Copperfield crap on me. So no,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
just told you that. You didn't tell me shit yet. Don't act like you just did your job. You're not getting a raise yet. I will hit that dot. And so I was sorry.
Jeez.
I was I was like, I mean,
I
the
can't wait.
dot on my
I
I was
can't
wearing
wait till. I can't wait that since this is your first time on my channel, that my channel gets pulled within like
this is the
30
first
seconds.
restriction you're getting. This is the
Yeah.
first 18 or over your ass is gonna get, I swear
You
to God.
fucker.
But no, I was wearing a polka dot t-shirt. I was hitting those. It's what it was. Um So I said, okay. And she's like, well, since we will not be here Labor Day, I cannot confirm it. She goes, it usually takes about 2 to 3 days, but I will give you a call on your ticket, which I'm sure will be resolved, which I'm sure means it won't be resolved. And you will notice blazing fast 5G speeds and blah blah blah. And then she asked me to do all these things I didn't need to do. She's like, "Do you have your Wi-Fi? Do you have your Wi-Fi on?" I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Could you make sure?" I will murder you with the phone.
Well, like I told you, man, they have to ask these
I know
questions.
they have to ask it, but I've had a phone. I've had several phones. I know what to look for. I mean, like, if you need to go into further deep settings, I get you. If we need to go into advanced and like look at caches and stuff like that, okay, you know.
Yeah.
But if I tell you the Wi-Fi isn't on, are you sure? Are you sure me? I am this close right now to having a nervous breakdown. All right. And your arranged marriage is not my fault. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But
Well, yeah, it is
don't,
true. Like I said, it took us. Well, we'll get to it. It took us like 90 minutes just to get here.
and you know what? I think I'm really in a bad mood also. And you are too. Is our good friend Willie has COVID. And I was thinking about that. And
I don't think because I've never really spoken about Willie on my channel, but we can. Because I keep that for all the uncensored stuff on yours. But since your
oh,
channel's pretty much broken now,
yeah.
the last I heard, he claims he has COVID. He claims he's in a hospital or a
Okay.
extended care facility. I swear he's in the nut house. His family finally had enough of him, dropped him off on the corner, rang the doorbell, and ran. But his latest ramblings and rantings are, since the last time we talked on the phone about him, is that he is always complaining because the physical therapy hurts. He's unable to walk, but then again, he's 650, 700 pounds. His latest complaint is that his chocolate chip cookie, wasn't big enough when they gave him dinner.
Is he
Now, like,
kidding?
no, I'll send you the Nobby sends me updates, all the time. I guarantee you, because he's complaining about the size of his dinner. I guarantee you they're giving him the bare minimum so he can lose the weight, so he can do the physical therapy. But then
Yeah.
again, remember, this is a guy that eats a tub of gravy for Thanksgiving.
And it's a hospital. It's not, having been in the hospital, having had an operation when I was younger and all that, you cannot just go to the fridge
I don't think he's
and
in a
get.
hospital. All jokes aside, I think
I
he's
kind of
in
agree with
like
you.
I think he's all jokes aside. I don't think he's in a hospital. I think
I
he's
think
like in
he's
an
in a
old folks
nursing home.
home.
I think
Yeah,
he's
he's
in
in
a
an old
nursing
folks
home.
home. Yeah,
Yeah.
because every
Yeah.
time he shows pictures, he's usually got the TV running, so he probably shares a room with somebody, and he's always in like a hospital gown. And it was funny because the latest picture of him like had moons all over it, which was great because he's the
Mm.
size of a planet. But I swear he's probably in a retirement center, and I guarantee you that motherfucker's never getting out.
You think the family finally just put him in there, or do you think?
Oh
Because
yeah.
I know hospitals will, from my uncle Mikey passed, but he was going back and forth for a long time. Hospitals only pay up to a certain point, and then they just transfer you to one
Yeah.
of those.
Yeah.
So
Patrick.
I don't know if the family did or if this is just part of the protocol with the,
Well, Patrick's in the chat. That's who this guy is here. He knows all about Willie. Like when I don't get updates
Right
from
person.
Nabi, I get updates from him. But I swear I don't know what caused him to go to the hospital or whatever. He probably had gas or something, Baby
I
Yoda.
mean, it could be
The dog got
COVID, but
sucked.
I'm saying, is it possible that it's one of these instances where, you're, because he probably has shitty insurance. A lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
What, I remember my mom being in intensive care with a thing in her throat and a coma, and she still shouldn't have left there. And she had to after 2 weeks to go to a
Mm-hmm.
nursing home. And
Yeah.
it's like, when you go that route, you're still able to come back home. You know what I mean? If you're checked in,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't do nothing for yourself or your family, sign something, that's a
Yeah.
different story. Which do you think it really is?
He's probably I don't know because it's not COVID anymore because it's been a couple weeks. And he's still constantly
Right.
talking about physical therapy. So I think he's a resident. And let's just say we did some research. There is a nursing home close to where he lives in San Mateo.
Oh.
So I think mom and niece had enough of him and just kind of, after he had COVID or whatever he did, who knows? Because you can't really believe a thing the guy says. You really can't.
Right.
You know, I think he was probably, because this is what happened with my mom. My mom had a medical incident, and after my dad passed, she couldn't be properly taken care of, so she went to the hospital for her incident. And on a Monday, by that Friday, she was placed, and she's lived there for like 2 years now. So I'm
Oh,
wondering if he had his medical emergency, and his sister and his aunt said, "Jesus loves us. Here's our opportunity. Sign the dotted line." I mean, and he was also
yeah,
complaining. He
it's
was
got to be that way because there's no way he would have went willingly then.
no,
If he would have known to have it, there's no way.
oh no way,
No way.
impossible. And he
No.
he recently had his birthday, and he was, of course, more upset, not because um his he couldn't have any get-togethers, with his imaginary friends. He was more upset that he couldn't have birthday cake. That's a legit post. This is his first year in like 5 or 10 years he could not have a piece of birthday cake on his birthday, and it's awful because this is like his 60th birthday.
I mean, if they would give you a cookie, though, in his defense, why wouldn't they give you like a piece of cake?
Because the nurses don't want to lose any fingers when they give him the cake. You know what I mean?
Oh
You've
yeah.
seen those pictures of like the 1-year-olds, like with the cake all over his face. This is
Mhm.
60. He's not holding back.
Jesus Christ
So,
already.
so yeah, that's the latest Willie update. So then you cussed out Brenda,
I
and
did cuss up
then
Brendel,
you tried to go live on your channel,
which,
and
well,
you were
yeah.
frozen. You were frozen, and I was
Mhm.
perfectly fine. So like 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes later, we tried to go live on mine. And as we went
Mhm.
live on mine, I was perfectly fine, but you couldn't hear a damn
I,
thing I said.
I
I
didn't
couldn't
hear
hear anything
anything.
you said.
Nope.
Since then, you sent me like 3 links to try.
Right.
And every time I tried to click on those links, it said host is not available to join.
And that's what weird because I'm also thinking maybe it's got something to do with the sharing part of YouTube because when I went live by myself, it seemed to stay the last
Really?
time. Well, when I was sitting there yelling and ranting for about 5 minutes,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was up, but that was only 5 minutes, so who knows?
Yeah.
But let's. What were we talking? We were talking about The Crow, and
Yes.
I
You're
just
talking.
gotta ask your
Mhm.
opinion. I am not. Let me say how I feel about The Crow because you're more invested than I am.
Sure.
I remember I was in high school seeing it. I remember me, my then girlfriend, her friend who was goth who we hung out with, but we never really knew why we did. We
Mhm.
all took a bunch of like legal speed, like stay awake pills, like a bunch
Yeah.
of them, and had a bunch of coffee, got really amped up on shit, and then went and saw The Crow. And from what I remember, I'm like, yeah, it's a great movie and all that. But it was never like really like how some people revere it as a classic. Like I never revisited it. I never saw it again.
Sure.
Uh, and then I honestly, I'd heard all year about this Crow remake coming out. I did not know that they basically were making this, like, the Snow White of the Crow world, like how this is awful. And how
Oh,
dare they
we'll talk
remake
about
it?
that too. Yeah.
This fucking thing sucks already. And it's not even made yet, but we hate it. And I saw a trailer and then didn't look bad to me. It looked like an action film. It's how it was. And of course, the early reviews came out. They weren't great.
Right.
Uh, most of the reviews that I have seen, YouTube, otherwise, X, all that shit, pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, because like you said, people just have this preconceived hate, like they have to hate it, or
Mhm.
the original. The original's got to be this shit, which I've never understood that line of thinking, but that's fine.
Mhm.
And so, but the problem I had, and I know you have, is the director was openly cheering for this movie to fail, and it did
Yeah.
very badly.
Mhm.
And he's gloating
Yeah.
like on X and in news. And I just want to know what your thoughts on as a fan. And
Okay. Well, I saw it. I have my own opinions on it up right now. It was fine. It was fine. I liked how they made the love story longer. Bill Skarsgård and FK Twigs, they were fine. She's the one that plays Shelly. I guess she's a singer or a rapper. I don't fucking know. But they were fine. I thought they were really good together. I liked them. The villains fucking sucked. You know, every time they were on screen, I was rolling my eyes because they were garbage. It's brutal and bloody as hell. Like there are necks getting snapped, heads getting chopped in half, decapitations, all the the fun stuff.
All right.
But I mean, I spent $7 at like 4:30 in the afternoon. I was fine. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, I did my own video on like when it first came, when the trailer first premiered, and I've said before, The Crow is my favorite movie of all time. It's not a perfect movie, okay? It's
Okay.
got its faults. It's very dated, okay?
Yeah.
That notwithstanding, a lot of people were saying, and I get it, Bill Skarsgård looking like a crackhead with all the tattoos and stuff like that,
Yeah.
like a meth addict. It's very shocking, very jarring. So I'm
Mhm.
sure people have, people they're like they can legit like I don't like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now you have a lot of these people coming out and trashing it. Now you know me first. I always say remake everything. I don't give a shit
Right.
because the original's still there. They don't
That's
kill
true.
your childhood. And you know what? It could be an entertaining 90 minutes to 2 hours regardless. Okay.
Right.
So a lot of people were complaining. They were saying that, this is an insult to Brandon Lee. This is an insult to the source material, yada yada yada. And even the director himself, Alex Proyas, that bald fat fuck. Oh, I can't stand him anymore. I never liked him to begin with. I can't. Oh, he was saying, well, we shouldn't remake this because it craps. He literally said it. He literally said it takes a dump on Brandon Lee's legacy. Well, motherfucker, maybe Brandon Lee would still be alive and not have a legacy right now. He could be still making movies if
Mhm.
your work environment was safe.
Didn't have an Alec Baldwin type of situation happen.
Exactly. So, because here's
Right.
the thing, in the end, the director is pretty responsible for what's going on his set, right?
Wait a second. Where was Alec Baldwin in 1994?
I don't know what he was doing. He was still married to Kim
Yeah.
Basinger.
Yeah.
No, his
That's
life wasn't over
interesting.
yet.
Okay. Okay.
But so
Would
he's
that
saying
be?
all that,
Would
and
that
a
not
lot.
be hilarious if he did it?
Yeah, Alec Baldwin in crow makeup, trying to keep his career going. But a lot of it was also like, it was hate from people. Like some of these people were really fucking stupid. They're saying Brandon
Mhm.
Lee died for this movie. No, he didn't. They say
No.
Brandon Lee was murdered. No, he didn't. It was a tragic accident that happened.
Well,
You know
didn't
what I mean?
Brant people say that though? Because didn't his father get shot in a film?
His father died of like I don't know, but something to do with his brain. He had like a brain hemorrhage or something like that.
Oh,
He had like severe headaches. Took a bunch of aspirin, went to bed, and didn't wake up. So there
oh, see,
is like
I
there.
heard. See, this is back in the day when early internet, like Prodigy and shit. Back then, when Watch the Crow, I remember hearing from friends and other
Mhm.
people that he had gotten shot also on his movie.
No,
That's why I thought it was a. I'm like, it's got to be
no,
like if your dad actually got shot in a movie, then you did too.
yeah. Well,
But
they
okay,
believe like there's this old Chinese curse, and like I'm not going down that rabbit hole because we'll be up for like 2 hours.
yeah.
But Ginger Ninja says it right here. Crapping on the legacy. Have you seen the sequels? Crow City of Angels is garbage. Salvation is
That
okay,
was
but
the
it was
second
straight to video.
was
And
the
then
one.
the last movie we had, The Crow, was a fat, bloated, drug addicted Edward Furlong playing the Crow. The villains was a dude from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a coked out Dennis Hopper, and Tara Reid. Okay? And people were
Edward
worried about,
Furlong.
yeah, Edward Furlong was the last Crow. But we're worried about crapping on Brandon's legacy when you have that guy being the Crow. And then they're on a Native American reservation. They couldn't actually hire a Native American actor, so they hired Danny Trejo, a Mexican, just because he has tan skin. Sure. Okay. But anyways, all these fans, like I said, he was murdered, this and that. He died for his art. No, he didn't. Somebody wasn't doing their job properly. Okay. And a lot of these are people that they saw a cool Crow T-shirt in fucking Hot Topic,
Mhm.
and then that's why
Yeah.
it's their favorite movie. No,
Mhm.
I think the problem is people are so pissed off about this because of the death that happened making the movie. They're not saying why they like the movie. They're just saying they're always bringing up the death. So I think their priorities when it comes to a remake are a little skewed. Anyways, now we're getting to fat fuck Alex Proyas. He's now taking credit and saying that it's bombing. He's like sharing this all over Instagram. He's sharing the bad reviews. He's talking about well, this movie was a cash grab. Well, I guess it didn't make enough cash to grab, right? What have you done in the past 25 years? You know what I mean? His last movie was I think it was called Gods of Egypt, which no one liked or has
No
even heard
idea.
of. Yeah, see, or has even heard of. His last hit movie before that was I, Robot, Will Smith, back in like early 2000s. He's made Dark City, which is a cult movie. You know what I mean? Like, cult following movie.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
People love it, but no one fucking talks about it or knows it exists. And then he made The Crow.
Right.
Alex should be happy that the Crow remake happened because people now at least know who Alex Proyas is. If you walk down to a random person on the street and say, "Who's Alex Proyas?" they'd say, "I don't know." If you said Brandon Lee, they'd either say the son of Bruce Lee or that guy that was killed in that movie.
Yeah, I don't even know that director's name. I remember Dark City being I don't know if it was a modest hit, but like people saw it and talked about it back in the day. I don't know. I was so drunk when I saw that film that I don't remember much.
Right. But you know what I'm saying, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's taking pride. And again, why are you taking you're such an asshole? Like, I get that Brandon Lee's sister is against it. Her brother was killed making the movie. I get it. You know what I mean? That makes perfect sense. Ernie Hudson says he isn't going to watch it, but he also has never seen the original either because he doesn't want to bring all those feelings back. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Because he was in the original. So why is this dude? I mean, why? If you're a director, okay, you know how hard it is to make a movie. So this director already had all that. I'm talking about the new movie. Had already all that weight on his shoulders, the pressure. Bill Skarsgård had so much pressure. FK Twigs had so much pressure. All this stuff, and you're gloating that their movie failed, and you're in the business. That's a dick move. You know what I mean?
It really is. I mean, yeah, there was just no excuse for it. It is what it is. Didn't do well, so I don't think it'll get any type of sequel. But for the director to go around kind of just being, at this point, you're basically just being known for being a dick. So
yeah,
that's how you want to be perceived. That's fine, but whatever. I know I wanted to go over a couple of movies with you to see if you've seen them this summer. I know you were probably first in line to see Maxxine, and I want to know what your thoughts were.
No, I haven't even seen Pearl because I fucking hated X. X was so fucking boring. I don't get it.
I want to be a star.
I don't get it. And that's me. You know what I mean? If you guys love X and it has its following, God bless you. God bless you. I don't want to see old people fuck. I don't care. Again, the movie was boring. The only part of that movie I liked was when all the people that were making the porno, when they were in like the living room playing the song on the guitar. That was cool because it was just them being themselves. The girl singing was good, but I didn't give a shit about the old people. I sure as hell didn't give a shit about what's her nuts. What's her name? The crazy chick with no eyebrows.
Oh, Mia Goth.
Don't give a shit about her. I don't get it. And people saying, even though I don't like X, I could still enjoy Pearl because there are people that hate X and like Pearl. I don't want to watch that because all I see is her either goofy ass Joker grin or her crying on stage. Don't care. And doesn't she fuck a scarecrow in it? Don't want to see that.
Well, then let me take over a brief review on the trilogy here because, like you said, there was X, and it's all based around this girl, Maxxine. She's a porn actress, but she wants to be like a real actress. Mm-hmm. And in X, basically, they end up at a farm trying to kind of surreptitiously shoot the porno. Mm-hmm. There's an old couple there. Basically, the old woman is a psycho nympho who basically just wants to get laid again, but she's like 80 and she looks like she looks and nobody wants to fuck her. Husband can't do anything with her because he has a heart condition. So she basically goes around trying to like seduce and molest these, young, attractive people. And then when she doesn't get her way, she just decides to kill them, which leads into the husband killing people too. It's a whole like it had some good moments.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I saw it not knowing anything about it. Obviously, I was with Steve. We went and saw it. I was like, "Oh, Jenna Ortega's in it. It said horror movie," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, let's go see it."
Yeah, I like Jenna Ortega, so I was
She was good
interested.
in it. I'll give her that. And then I thought there was some really good scenes, like when she was trying to get out and all that, and he fucked her hand up with the hammer or whatever it was. If it had more of that and more intervals of that, I would have been more interested in it. But yeah, I couldn't, and I know, old people have their worth and stuff, but me and Steve just looked at each other when we had that scene of the old people fucking and the girl hiding under the bed. And I'm just like, we just couldn't stop laughing because it was just like, I mean, she's literally going, "Oh, do me. Oh, Harold." And then the old son of a bitch does die of a heart attack, but not because of sex when he's shooting at somebody.
Yeah.
And so the last thing you see, it took off, as we know.
And like my buddy Ginger here in the chat, he loved it, and that's fine. I just personally don't get it, so I'm not bashing people who enjoy it. I'm just like,
no,
I couldn't do it.
I'm half and half on it. Like I wasn't bored, I wasn't disappointed. I was more. I remember walking out of the theater going, "Huh, yeah, that was a choice." I didn't feel gypped. I wasn't mad. And then let me tell you about fucking Pearl. So then we went and saw Pearl, and now that's the backstory of the crazy old killer lady. We go and it's played by Mia Goth. She did play both roles, the crazy old lady and herself, and not herself, her younger character in X. So they go back to the old lady to find out why she's so fucked up and crazy. Well, it just turns out she was always fucked up and crazy. Yes, was she brought up in a religious household? Of course she was. It's way more gory than X. It's a lot. It takes a while to get there, but basically, I could kind of tell what the director was going for there. It was like a parody, a disgusting parody of like those 40s, like happy-go-lucky, like I want to be a star type movies and all that. Like it had a lot of stylistic, like 40s shots and Technicolor,
like something
and all
Judy
that
Garland
shit
would be in, back then. That's what I gave it. Yeah.
Okay, that's a perfect way to say it. It's like if Judy Garland was Charles Manson. It's like
see, I would watch that. I would watch that.
I think it's actually worth the watch. She does do crazy shit through the whole entire movie, which at least in this one explain why she kills animals at first. She loves to rub herself a lot, but she can't really get laid. Her husband's out and fighting in the war and stuff like that. She's living with her crazy parents. One of her parents is an invalid, and she's not basically allowed to go anywhere. And she the whole thing just builds up into this thing where she's like, "Look, I'm getting out of here." There's an audition to go on a touring showgirl thing or whatever like that. Yeah. And her cousin actually convinces her, like, you gotta go. Come on. Yeah. And she's like, she wants to get away from this farm. She wants to get away from the family. The mother is just a nightmare. And it all goes to hell in a handbasket. Like people end up dying that shouldn't die, and just a whole bunch of bad shit happens. And that famous scene you see, her smiling at the end, it's the finale of the movie. And I guess what they say is the director shooting her just didn't tell her when to stop smiling. And so she just kept going and go. It wasn't a planned thing. So she was even saying later on, she's wondering when they're going to say cut. Yeah. And so she just gets, and he kept it on that. That one I was like, okay, I'm like, I liked it for what it was, but again, there was just something missing. Maxxine, the closer of it, to me was just ridiculous.
Now, to me, I'll say this: as much as I don't even like looking at Mia Goth, because there's just something weird about her. Like for a fact, if you bumped into her, she would throw you up against the wall, like put a switchblade to you, steal your money, and then piss on you.
Oh, she's crazy. Yeah,
she really does. She just gives off this Looney Tune vibe. I was interested in it because I think it takes place in the 80s. You know me, I'm a sucker for the 80s. and it was it Richard Ramirez, Night Stalker, was around that time. I love, you know me, I love learning about serial killers and all that stuff. So I was interested, but the thing is, since I didn't give a shit about X and I wasn't interested in Pearl, I didn't really give two shits about Maxxine. You know what I mean?
You can throw with Maxxine, you can throw Pearl out the window. Like it's literally it shows nothing to do with Pearl.
Because the
it's
old
a
lady's dead
direct
by the end.
sequel.
Yeah, the old lady's dead.
It's a direct. They even have like 2 or 3 flashbacks to X to show. She has like one line in the movie where somebody tries to assault her and it doesn't go well for him, and she turns around, because it is, and she goes, "Do you know what happened to the last person who tried to kill me?" She's like, "I smashed her fucking head in with a truck." And so it's that type of thing. The problem I had with this one was you had the little Night Stalker kind of thing going on in the background because it was during that time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's a spoiler to say it was not the Night Stalker. That turns out to be the one after her. Somebody knows what she did.
Okay.
Somebody knows.
Okay, see, now you're frozen and explaining the movie. All right.
Am I?
All right. Replay everything you said when you find out it's not the Night Stalker.
Somebody basically had found out. I'm not gonna say who the killer is, but because in case people want to watch it, but somebody knows what she did, and they prove it to her by in the middle of the night. They knock on her door, when there's this.
I swear, your Wi-Fi is fucked, dude. So we hear a knock on the door.
Knock on the door. Someone leaves a videotape from the first film.
Okay.
As police evidence to let them know. And someone has hired a private detective played by Kevin Bacon to track her down.
Okay, hold on. I got to interrupt you for a second. We know you're having Wi-Fi problems. Have you tried turning it off and turning it on again, just in case? And he's frozen, so maybe maybe he has not tried it yet. See?
Turn what on and off again? The Wi-Fi?
Your phone, stupid. Forget it.
Am I still frozen? I see myself.
No, now you're not. No. You mentioned Kevin Bacon, then you froze up. And now you're frozen real bad. Okay, keep going. So in case anyone doesn't know the history, in case anyone doesn't know the history between me and Jay, whenever we try to get together, we have this ongoing thing where we say God hates us. And we usually do that because Jay's best friend is Stevie, who is super, super Christian. And I think it's just because, God is upset that Jay's always hanging with Stevie and making him look bad.
The amount of shit I have done to Stevie to horrify him about religion, it's just not even funny at this point. I think this has come up as.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm eventually going to see Pearl. I'm eventually going to see Maxxine. I'm sure I'm not going to like them. But if I'm going in with like zero interest, maybe I will. Because
I think Maxxine is so over the top. You like it.
X was just hyped to the fucking moon. You know what I mean? And I just, like I said, I just kind of found it boring. I didn't give a shit about any of the characters. I mean, I didn't hate any of them, but I didn't care. And I really didn't give a shit about the creepy old people in the farmhouse. You know what I mean? So.
What did you think about Alien Romulus?
Loved it. Loved it so much.
I did not like that ending.
You didn't, because the alien turned out to look like Mia Goth under all the old people makeup.
Yes, I just was. That's the one thing that took me out of it. I was just like, I was there for the whole time, and that thing was just like, I get you're trying to tie it to Prometheus or whatever, but I'm like, why? I didn't. It didn't need to be there. I just felt it was like.
Well, here's the thing. If you know the director, he did the Evil Dead remake, so he's gonna be crazy. He did Don't Breathe.
I like that.
That was great up until like the turkey baster part. But if you
Ugh.
know about the turkey baster part, you know there are no limits to what he's doing in his next film. And this is an alien movie where you can have DNA fusion and all that weird fun shit. So I was all for it because I figured,
I just wish
why not?
that I guess I wish it had been something else. I don't know what, but
Yeah,
I wish if you're going to take in a twist, it would have been a different twist. Like to me, it looked ridiculous.
mm-hmm.
Like everything else looked great. Like the
Yeah.
aliens looked great. I like they went back to people in costumes and not relied too much on CGI.
Yeah.
I I had to say I was shocked. The most shocking thing about it was that somebody actually was going to stream this before putting it in theaters. The way it was shot, are you kidding?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who I don't know who would have even thought that.
Yeah, we'll keep
It
it.
was
We'll
so
keep this kind of vague because Ginger hasn't seen it yet. But I
yeah.
thought it was great. I'm glad they brought it to theaters because it's making money.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's knocked Deadpool and Wolverine out. It's number one again. And I'm glad because now it's kind of showing because I really like that Predator movie, Prey, with the Native Americans, and they were worried that movie was going to flop, so that went straight to streaming. Well, now that the Alien movie has proven that these things can make fucking money, I think the new one that's coming out, the new Predator movie, is going to go back to theaters. So we'll see.
Really?
Yeah, but I thought
What do you
Alien
think
was
about
great.
What do you think about Sigourney Weaver saying would think about reprising her role again? Isn't she dead?
She died in 3, but they brought her back as a clone in 4, and I don't care. Why not? Why not? You know, I would like her back only if like she's actually, you know what? Have her finally take down the company that she hasn't been able to take down in like 4 fucking movies. So we'll see. Who cares? I mean, which was the worst that could happen? You waste 2 hours. You know what I mean?
And the only other thing about Alien Romulus was I will say that I don't want to spoil anything, but one of the characters that they did bring back from the original.
Technically
I
not.
don't know why.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I mean they did, but they didn't. But I don't know why they did that. And it was kind of that CGI was kind of distracting to me a little bit. It was a little too much.
That was very distracting. I thought the idea was cool, but they did like a deep fake, you know, like AI.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
And they shouldn't have. What they should have done is because he talks to them in person, he also talks to them on camera. That character looked fine on camera. Just have him talk to him like that instead of like in live action. But
and plus, if they're supposed to be different models, why would they make one look the same like the other one? I mean, it didn't make much sense. And I'm convinced that the main robot, what was his name? The main robot, the black guy, for lack of a better term.
I think Andy. Andy, I think.
So he was a retarded version.
No, he wasn't. If you remember,
he was.
Well, look, there was definitely.
Don't give me that he was a different generation shit because the other one talked just fine and didn't have autism.
Well, here's the thing. If you remember, again, you're not, as much of a geek like I am with this stuff, because you actually go out in public. Bishop, Lance Henriksen, when they're talking about, the previous units, they're always a bit twitchy, so they couldn't get the technology right. So, and he was also found damaged as well. So,
he was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I forgot
because
about
if
that.
If you remember with the Andy character, when they put in the new disc, I guess you would say in him, he was completely fine. So it's just his program was fucked up.
I also had a small cringe moment with the whole, get away from her, you bitch line. It seemed like
I had a smirk on my face. It was fine.
But it's like, why is he all of a sudden programmed to swear? And it wasn't even near her. It just didn't seem necessary. And if you're going to use it, put it in a scene where it's near her or something.
You guys are so fucking spoiled now. You just nitpick on everything. Just sit
down.
No,
I like the movie.
Watch an alien movie and have fun.
That was, I'm sure there were other lines that were throwbacks. So I had but that one was the one where I was just like, it felt like there's a whole pause to say it. And I'm like,
well, he paused because he was stuttering, because he was still fucked up in the head, because he was
back he's autistic. Program. They stutter lots. I mean, but there's medicines for them. She should have just given him the medicine. He would have been an okay android.
They didn't have the money. You saw the planet that they were living on. They were basically living in a garbage dump.
That is true.
See? But my problem with like, again, I've already talked about how much people were shitting on The Crow before it came out. So many people were shitting on this movie because a lot of people say it's too much fan service.
So what?
This is the 7th movie, maybe more if you count
So what?
the Alien versus Predator movies. If it's the 7th film altogether, you kind of want those nods to the previous movies because it's just like it hits that switch. You're like, I remember that part. I understand what you're saying about the Ripley line, "Get away from her, you bitch." But I don't get what the problem is. It doesn't ruin the movie to me.
It didn't ruin no, it didn't. Let me get that right. It didn't ruin the movie at all for me. And I
Yeah, I
will
loved it.
say, it
I fucking
says
loved it.
something how good it was when I'm not a sci-fi fan. It never
Right.
really happened. And I know Alien leans more towards horror, blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
even that, like I like that one. I like the second one and all that. I hated all the others. I couldn't stand the others.
Right.
For me to even attempt to see this, to be even intrigued, said something to me about it, that this was going to be something different. And I like that it was different and wasn't different. I like they went back to claustrophobic type of thing. I like that, not everything looked brand new. I like that it was more
It
felt
was dirty.
alien.
It was
Felt
filthy.
dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't even feel like, I guess a little bit at the beginning, there was a little bit of an aliens feel with old like town. You got to see and all that kind of shit like that.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been interesting to see them make an alien movie about, remember that whole like when Newt was found and everything that happened there. They should make a movie about that. I'd love to see that.
When they first
I
colonized the
would love
planet
to
and
see
stuff
the
like that.
colony get, destroyed and all that shit. And I think that would be a good angle to go back maybe.
Well, I guarantee you that as much money as this has made, another one's going to come out very
Oh,
soon.
oh,
And I'll
definitely.
be surprised if this director isn't involved somehow. If he's not directing again, he's going to write it or produce it or something like that. Because he also wrote and produced this one.
Did you happen to see? What are your thoughts overall on M. Night Shyamalan? I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to him.
Well, I think The Sixth Sense was good, but after you watch it for the 3rd time, it doesn't matter anymore. You watch it the first time for the twist. You watch it the second time to make sure everything's synced up. And then after that, who gives a fuck? Unbreakable was good. I thought it was good. Signs I thought was really good. The one with the aliens and Mel Gibson.
Did. That was the last movie I liked of his.
I saw The Village once. Didn't like it. I saw Lady in the Water once. Didn't like it. Rewatched it. Liked it the second time. So
what was the one with the killer grass? I wanted to shoot the screen.
That's The Happening.
I
hate that movie.
Fucking movie.
That movie is so bad.
And I paid to see that shit.
I rented it, like, when Netflix still did the shit in the mail.
Yeah.
Awful. And
I remember sitting in the theater like, it's grass.
I'm convinced. Well,
your lawn is telling you to kill people.
But see, it had an interesting premise because people were, taking themselves out. Like one guy got in a lion's mouth, at the zoo, and another guy got under a riding lawnmower. So it had interesting promise. The problem was the reveal was dumb. Marky Mark can't fucking act to save his goddamn life.
Oh my god!
I like looking at Zooey Deschanel, but I don't think she's really that great. John Leguizamo was always great. John Leguizamo was always great because he's just so mad at the world. You know what I mean? So he was kind of the asshole in that movie, so it kind of showed through. But the reveal was dumb. It was too fucking long. And I swear he tried to make a bad movie on purpose. Then he did a couple movies that he just produced. Like I liked Devil, the one where everyone's stuck in the elevator.
Yeah, that was good. That wasn't bad.
I like that one. And then
did you see Trapped?
I've never heard of Trap. Wait, is that the new one with Josh Hartnett, right?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. You got things to say?
Great
Don't
premise.
spoil it just in case.
This is not a spoiler at all. Okay. This is just an overall review that you'll see. And it's no spoilers. I'm not saying anything about what happens. We all know that there's a person that's a killer that's caught in a Taylor Swift-like concert, and he finds out, through the trailer that the police are looking for him.
Right.
So he's got to figure a way to get out of there. This was such a glaring showcase, because guess who the performer is? It's M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. And I guess she's a real wannabe singer. They
Okay.
showed more of her than anything else happening.
Well, that's not
So
nepotism,
you
is
got
it?
to see numbers. It was like seeing, imagine you saw 2 Taylor Swift songs, then
Sure.
a little something happens, another Taylor Swift song, a little something happens, something kind of happens, the Taylor Swift song's going on in the background. It was to sell, this was nothing but to sell that bitch as a pop artist or something like that. And then they had the balls, because I know the bitch, because she's from, her dad nutsack and all that thing. She can direct too, and she can't. And she probably also thinks that she can act. They then try to make her, again, glaringly, like, nepo baby, make her part of like the actual cast movie.
Yeah.
Like she's not just a singer anymore. Now she's in it, and it's so bad. Her acting,
She can't act.
it's like, why is she here?
Yeah.
It's it everything else. I like the ways that people got around things and how certain things were revealed. There is no, and I did like the fact that this was the first film that there was no big twist.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time in the
That's what sucks. He kind of pigeonholed him or painted himself into a corner with all this twist
yeah,
stuff. Like
he could have, right.
that's why I liked Split. Is it called Split?
Yeah,
Or yeah,
yeah,
that one
yeah,
was
yeah,
fucking good.
yeah.
The only twist
That was
was
good.
whoop-de-doo. It's the same fucking universe that of Unbreakable. That's not really a twist, you know what I mean? And that's
No.
great because it just relied on James McAvoy being a Looney Tune, and he was great.
Mhm.
And then I think Anna Taylor-Joy, your girl, she was in it, and that was really really good. And then the one where they brought in Bruce Willis back, Glass, that was fine. It was okay. I didn't hate it. But I really like that movie Old, where you had all those people on the beach that made them age, super rapidly. I really, really like
Yeah.
that one,
Oh
and
yeah,
no one else
yeah.
did.
I don't remember enough of it. It just didn't. I saw it. I don't remember it being good or bad. I just remember it was there, type of deal.
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
tell you one. I haven't seen it yet. I'm not sure, but I'm just going to tell you you should see it. Is what the hell is it called? Strange Darling.
See, the
It's a
thing is,
horror film.
I'm so far behind. I know the poster. I don't know anything it's about. Um, a lot of people are
It's
talking about it.
so good. Yeah, it's really really good, and
Is that
I
is
love
that
that it's set up.
is that
Hmm.
it's really good, or is that Jay sarcasm for like screwing me over and making me watch a
No,
shit movie?
I mean, I can't say I was super surprised by the twists and turns or whatever like that, but it was super even enjoyable. And it
Okay.
was like, I like it's told in 6 chapters. And you
Okay.
start in chapter 3, then you go to chapter 2, then you go to chapter 5. Everything just tied together perfectly in that
Okay.
movie. And it's gory as hell. It's
Mhm.
unapologetic. And it's that surprised me, because I saw another movie that was bragged and supposedly supposed to be like that, called Cuckoo, that was a German piece of shit.
Yeah,
That
my buddy Mike, you've seen me on his American Werewolf
yeah.
Jersey show sometimes. He was really excited to seeing that, and even he said like he hated that movie so much he didn't even want to make a mini review on it. He hated it.
I was like, what the hell is happening? Like, I don't even know if we're in Germany or Deutschland or wherever. Why are we here? You have a little Asian sister who you hate, who always she's autistic or deaf. I don't even care at this point. Woman that nobody knows who she is 80 times,
Uh-huh.
and then you keep telling your mom and dad, I'm really gonna leave. Leave, bitch. She's trying to kill you.
Mhm.
Leave. What is wrong with you people?
Mhm.
And
The
then
thing that I don't
the explanation at the end was,
mhm.
and I won't say it, but was one of the
Yeah,
most ridiculous. Where I
you're cutting in and out, dude. Okay. Well, he's frozen. I've not heard a good sequel thing about Cuckoo. The other thing that a lot of people tell me to go see is Long Legs, that serial killer Nicolas Cage movie. And I'm iffy on it because I love serial killer movies, but I kind of hate Nicolas Cage now. I've hated Nicolas Cage for like the last 15, 20 years. And
Why I
all I
think you
keep
should see it. He's own. They made a mistake.
Okay, you're frozen again. The problem is,
Of the entire movie.
all right, say that again. You were frozen. You said Nicolas Cage was probably in the movie for like 2 seconds or something. Wait 5 seconds for him to come back. Okay.
I'm back.
All right.
He was in it for about 5 minutes.
Okay. The problem is though, dude, is I keep seeing clips of because I know they can't really share like the main part of the movie because they want to keep the mystery and all that. All I see is fucking Nicolas Cage with white face. He looks like Tiny Tim. Remember that old singer with the ukulele, the tiptoe through the tulips guys? He looks like him, so I can't take him serious. And they just keep showing this clip of him driving his van, and he's just yelling and screaming for mommy and daddy. And I'm just worried that every time I see him on screen, I'm not going to be able to take any of this fucking bullshit seriously with him. You know what I mean? Because he's been fucking Looney Tunes, like I said, for like the last 20 years, ever since he's kind of embraced how crazy he really is inside, and he's just doing all these movies because he owes the IRS money, because he's buying dinosaur bones and buying Castle, and Jay's gone because he Nicolas Cage probably got him. So I'm going to wait probably a good 2 or 3 minutes for him to come back. There he is. There we go. Let's see if this. See,
Got kicked out.
That's okay. Like I said, God hates
but
you.
He's only in it briefly. His role is more important than he is, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So
like
he's referred to more. He's definitely in the movie, but he's not physically in the movie for, I'd say, more than 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He has one like monologue in the movie. That's it.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, this is supposed to be like a serious serial killer movie. When that scene where he's yelling and screaming when he's driving the fucking truck or driving the van, I'm like, I can't take this shit seriously. Like
Well,
when he goes full, I'm not going to use the word, but when he goes full R, like Ben Stiller says he never should go when he's Simple Jack. He's going full Nick Cage, and I'm just like, I can't do that shit.
The problem you or anybody else is going to have with the movie is what you bring to, like, the ending is either super ridiculous to you or it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
The whole reasoning of everything, why everything is happening. There's two ways. Like, I can totally see either way. I could totally see being in the camp where it was like, and being in the camp where it was like this, what? Yeah, this is the whole reason or what? It makes sense though. I mean, if going by its own logic, whether you like the logic or not, the ending, it makes sense. It's not left open to any interpretation. You know what's happened and why. You find out.
I'll probably wait till my friends get it on their Vudu account since I have access to it. I'm not going to pay. But I mean, I don't want to go on those websites, that I send you all the time with the guy putting the shit in the poker chips in the blender.
I'd like to kick him in the face every time. I just want to slap. I just want to slap that dude. I've got a newfound hatred.
I can't complain too much because I'm watching a movie for free that's in theaters.
But here's my thing. Do you really think that makes me want to go to your casino or whatever? Who's the genius that thought, like, we're gonna have somebody really annoying smile like he's retarded, put cards in a blender, and people are gonna want to come get our shit? That's what's wrong with people. People are mentally ill in Hollywood.
No, you didn't think so? Jeez.
Well, I mean, we all know it's been that way for a while. You had Jada Pinkett, all that shit. And I just did a video on Blake Lively's little meltdown. What a bitch. She's such a bitch.
Other than the fact that if she's married to Ryan Reynolds, I have no idea what she's done. Like, I knew she was in the Green Lantern movie with him, and that's, like, I'm talking about movie-wise. I don't even know what she's done.
She horrible. mean girl behavior that's now come to the surface, even in an interview where basically the interviewer starts off congratulating her on her baby bump. And
Mhm.
now, keep in mind, Blake Lively had announced she was pregnant, had gone an interview saying she was pregnant. And when this woman says it, which was well after all this, she looks at her and goes, "Congratulations on your baby bump." Not not knowing or caring that this woman couldn't have children.
Mhm.
And so she shot her and didn't know that she gave her a good wound. And
Okay.
then didn't like her question, so proceeded to turn to her co-star Parker Posey and talk like mean girls do and ignore her, the interviewer. They didn't talk to her at all.
Oh wow. I saw the baby bump part of the interview. I
She
didn't know the
also
context.
rewrote or had Ryan Reynolds rewrite a pivotal scene in the book movie that she's in right now. It's based on domestic violence. And there's
Right.
a pivotal scene that the author and the director really, it was important to the book, important to the film and all that. Well, Blake didn't like that because she wants more of a fun movie. So she asked Ryan what he thought.
It's a movie about domestic violence. It's not supposed to be fun.
But but she's wearing fun summer dresses. What are you talking about?
Wow.
And Ryan Reynolds had the audacity to rewrite it without this writer's knowledge, without the director's knowledge. And since they have so much money, she didn't like the ending. She thought it was a little downer, you know. So she shot her own ending. Then she had it screen tested the same time, the whole week that the premiere is coming out, to
Mhm.
see, Dum Dum thinking people will like hers better, to make it a little lighter, domestic violence, maybe he hits her with tissues or something. Who knows? It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
He blows on her when she walks by, bitch,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And anyways, the test audience hated her movie, hated
Of
her
course.
ending,
Yeah.
hated it. And she's all shocked. And now she's going back. She was downplaying the domestic violence part in interviews. She was talking about fun summer dresses. An interviewer asked her, because the book, I guess, was a sensation. I didn't know. And said, you're playing this character, blah, 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 and domestic violence. If somebody came up to you and shared their story of domestic violence or how much this movie meant to them, what would you say to them? And what would you do? What would they want? I'd say, what do you want, my email? Do you want
Mhm.
my location? You can have my phone number and call me about it. And I'm like, you are a twat.
Wow.
And you're married to a douche, so I don't know why I'm surprised. Because I'm sick of him. I'm done with Ryan
I
Reynolds.
could. I like the Deadpool movies,
I don't.
but that's about it. That's about it. I didn't like Van Wilder. I didn't
He
like
thinks
anything else he's
the
in.
thing.
I mean,
No,
I didn't mind Blade Trinity, but I was
it's
just
the thing.
watching
He
people
thinks
kill
that
vampires.
he's one of these people who doesn't seem to understand. No, you're not funny. People wrote and you speak them. You are not a
Mhm.
comedian. Because when you try to do, and he does shtick on every interview he does, which is
Mhm.
annoying. And this whole thing of him and like his lover, Hugh Jackman or whatever, going
Yeah.
on Jimmy Fallon, and then, oh, well, I'm going to be Jimmy Fallon. I'm going to interview you, and then you're going to interview me. They did that like 5 different talk shows. Just
You
suck each
know.
other off and get off my
You
screen.
know. Well, you know that that shit's probably all Ryan's idea. That's the thing. Like all that goofy shit that they're doing together. You know, that's all Ryan's
He's a
idea.
dude.
So I have no idea what you just said because you're cutting in and out again. So what we're going to do is, since we were able to
Yeah,
get,
we should.
we've been, hold on, you're back now. So we're going live for like 58 minutes, and we got
Let's end it.
56 minutes of material. I
Let's
think
end
this
it.
is a good way to end this, especially on that happy note that you had with
Yeah.
about Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
So
dude.
what we're gonna do, what I'm gonna do is if for some reason people enjoyed Jay and I talking, when I get done with this, I will edit his channel link into the description. He probably won't be able to
Thank you.
upload anything because for some reason YouTube doesn't like him. The internet sucks. His phone sucks. Any of that stuff. We
Everything
will
sucks.
try. We're gonna try to go live I don't know. Maybe we don't need to go live Monday. You know, we'll see.
Oh,
Since we did tonight.
Stevie's there. I have some ideas. Pranking him and stuff.
Okay, well, if you want to see Jay prank the sweetest guy in the world and make him cry, we'll probably be live on his channel Monday. And I'll, you know what? Once he gets better internet and once he gets a better phone, I'll probably have Jay on for more random live streams.
Why not?
All right. Well, I'll just wait for you to respond to that. So I'm going to cut this off. My wife is going to bed. I'm going to have a few more beers. I'm going to finish this fucking weird Gary Coleman documentary on Peacock because that's what I was doing when I was killing time waiting for you to try to getting stuff to.
I might watch that.
It's actually
right.
really interesting. Really interesting. His parents are big pieces of shit, like really big pieces of shit.
I kind of knew that, but it'd be interesting to see more. All right.
Yeah.
Take it easy, bud.
Yep. I'm going to end this. All right. Cheers. Yes, I want to end the fucking stream. I hate this. Yes, that's why I clicked the motherfucker.